Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and we're here with another starter ranked video. So it's been such a long time since I did one of these videos. I'm interested in seeing what you all think about my list. Of course, this is my opinion. If you like this opinion, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, go ahead, put in the comments what you think the ranking should be for the Unova starters. But anyway, this is going to be, like I said, the Unova starters that we're ranking. And it's going to be mostly based on their competitive prowess. It's not going to really be about in-game prowess. We might do a video series about that another time, which starters work the best in their respective generations. But we're going to actually use this as an opportunity to look at the Unova starters, see how well they do competitively. And starting off with my number 3, and that's going to be Samurott. So the main problem with Samurott is it doesn't really have a niche that it really fills very well. Of course, there are certain things that you could do with it, but the problem is its stats are not very well tuned. It has 108 special attack, and that is its best stat, but it also has 100 attack, so you would think it would work sort of okay as like a mixed attacker, maybe giving one more of a preference. But the thing is, this thing is actually kind of slow. It's got 70 speed. Of course, that's not the slowest thing, but there's so many things that outspeed Samurott. It gives it a lot of problems. And of course, it does have 85 defense, 70 special defense, 95 HP, so it's not the most bulky Pokemon, but it has some slight bulk. This is a Pokemon that seems more like it was designed for in-game gameplay rather than competitive play. Abilities wise, it's got Shell Armor and Torrent, and usually with the starters, you want to run their hidden ability, but the thing is, Samurott does not take good advantage of Shell Armor, and that's because, like I said, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon. Shell Armor works better on bulkier sets, so you're wanting to go with Torrent. That way, when your HP is low, you can do more damage with water moves. Move-wise, I feel like Samurott works better as a physical attacker. This thing gets Swords Dance, Liquidation, Aqua Jet, and Mega Horn. Of course, Mega Horn is not the best move to bring on things, but it is a good physical move if you connect. If you want to do a special attacking set, it gets Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Grass Knot. Those moves are really good for a special attacking set. But of course, this thing is not that great. You're going to have a lot of things that outspeed you. You're going to have to get a Swords Dance to scare things. And even though the Samurott we used during our little starter battles video did really good against the Heracross, it still wasn't what I would consider a good Pokemon. So let's go to our number 2 slot, and our number 2 slot is going to be Emboar. So where Samurott doesn't really do anything with great success, Emboar does one thing and one thing very well, and that is hit like a truck. So this thing is packing 123 attack. It also has the Reckless ability, and it gets access to a lot of recoil moves that get boosted by the Reckless ability. So Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, those things are going to do a lot of damage. So like I said, this thing gets access to a lot of hard-hitting moves, Flare Blitz being its main attacking move. It also gets superpower for a fighting stab, but I would say bring Wild Charge as well, because that way water types are not going to switch in with that much confidence on your Emboar. You can also bring Earthquake if you want. Sucker Punch, I would suggest that because that hits really hard, and if the opponent has a fast Psychic type, you can hit that really hard. So Emboar is a Pokemon that hits like a truck, like I said. If you want to give it a choice band, not a lot is going to survive from it. You could outspeed certain things with a Scarf. Here we're coming into the problems with Emboar. It's actually very slow. This thing only has 65 speed, so even with the Scarf, a lot of things will outspeed you. But if you take care of those things, maybe even put down some Sticky Web, Emboar is going to do a lot of work with a Scarf. This thing has 110 HP, and that way you can fire off a little bit more of those Flare Blitzes and Wild Charges. So that's the good thing about that. It does have 100 special attack, which isn't really going to help you out if you use this as most people do, but you could probably try out a special attacking set. I would suggest the physical set because, like I said, 123. You're not going to pass that up. Defense-wise, it's not very bulky. It's got 65 defense, 65 special defense, and like I said, a lot of things will outspeed that 65 speed. But if you are able to surprise your opponent with this thing can do a lot of damage to your opponent. So that's why this thing's on our second slot. It does one thing very well, but that's a lot more than what Samurott does, even decently. So that's why Emboar is our number 2 Pokemon on this Unova starter list. So that's just going to leave our number 1 Pokemon of the Unova starters, and this will be the superior choice, Serperior. So the thing about Serperior is, looking at its stats, you might think, Mr. Chabry, this thing only has one stat that is past 100, and that is speed, 113. That is a very good speed, but the problem is, that's only one stat that's even past 100, whereas the other two had, like attack, special attack, that was even past 100. Why would you pick Serperior as the number 1 Unova starter? Well, that's because this thing can do multiple things pretty well, and it does have a really great ability. So this thing, like I said, has got 113 speed. That's going to be really fast against a lot of threats. Of course, this thing does have some decent bulk as well. 95 defense, 95 special defense. It's not the best, but you can live some certain hits with that. So even though this thing carries only 75 special attack, it's best used as a special attacker. And that's because with the ability Contrary and the move Leaf Storm, this thing can get a huge special attack boost. And this thing could end up sweeping entire teams. It's happened to me before. Someone brought a Serperior and I didn't really have a good way to answer it, and it swept my entire team. Because that's something that Serperior can do. It could destroy an entire team. So after every Leaf Storm, you're going to boost your special attack up 2 stages. And plus, with that decent bulk, you're going to be able to live the hits that your opponent tries to hit on you, trying their hardest to get rid of this big threat that has just appeared on the field. So after one Leaf Storm, this thing's going to be packing 150 special attack, and not a lot of things want to take that. Plus, you're going to keep boosting and boosting and boosting after every Leaf Storm. So this thing has a huge potential. Of course, the main thing that holds it back is its grass typing, I would say, because grass as a typing is not the best. There's a lot of things that resist grass typing, and its move pool is not the best either. Most people bring it with substitute Leech Seed, Hidden Power Fire, so that way they have a way to hit grass and even Steel type. I've seen people packing Glare, that way they can paralyze things that are faster than Serperior. I've also seen some Defog sets running around, because Serperior is actually a Pokemon that gets Defog. This thing's actually a pretty good Defogger because it's so fast. You can run in and Defog. Maybe you can scare out a Water type, make them think that they're going to take a nasty Leaf Storm, and just defog away the spikes, the rocks, the toxic spikes, whatever you want. Of course, this thing is very versatile, and that's the reason why I think it is the number 1 Unova starter competitively. Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, watching my ranked Unova starters video. This is a series that I started way back, and I took a hiatus mainly because the Alolan starters didn't have their hidden abilities at that point, and I knew once I got to them, I wouldn't really have a good grasp on which one would be better competitively in the long run, because their hidden abilities seem to have a lot of weight on those starters, mainly Incineroar. That's the main reason why I held off on continuing the series, but I do have a playlist of all of the starters ranked. I'm going to have it in the little card up in the top corner. If you like this, like I said, give it a thumbs up. Check out those if you don't mind, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.